Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. Happy holidays. I'm actually kind of proud of this setup. This took me like a full 5 minutes. How is everyone doing? Oh my gosh. For me personally, there are two different sides of like the holiday season. Half of it is the holiday season, and then like the other half of it is working retail. One half is great. We'll keep that as is. It's the other half that I have problems with. If I had $1 for every single customer that came up to the cash wrap, saw that we had no gift boxes, and then asked me for a gift box for their purchase, I'd have like 20-something dollars. You know what I could buy for 20-something dollars? I could buy a set of markers. I could buy 10 things at Forever 21. So for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about the worst makeup releases of 2020. I should probably note that I didn't like buy any of these products. I didn't buy any of these products, so it's not a review. This is more just me kind of scrolling through the year's releases and talking about which ones are the worst. If any of these products on this list are something that you love or you were looking to buy, that does not mean that I'm telling you not to buy the products. These are just my opinions on makeup releases. These are just my opinions on makeup releases. I'm not like looking to ruffle any feathers over here. Okay, so my disclaimer's out of the way, and with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start the video. So I decided instead of ranking the releases, I'm gonna go chronologically, like from January to December. So the first product I wanna talk about was released in January. Oh my gosh. I remember sitting in my dining hall and actually watching Tati's release video for the Blendiful and being like, what? Can you imagine sitting at the dining hall? What? Can you imagine non-remote classes? That's crazy. But I remember Tati coming out with the Blendiful. I remember feeling weird about it personally, and then other people also felt weirded out by it. It ended up being kind of like a controversial release because Tati was saying, oh, I'm gonna release this tool. I'm gonna introduce this new product and it's gonna completely change the makeup game. And she said all that, and that's all well and good, but you know, she came out with the Blendiful, so that's what's confusing to me. Maybe the Blendiful is really good. I remember when reviews started coming out, people liked it at first. While the Blendiful might really be an innovative product and might be really game-changing, I don't know, I haven't tried it. But the problem is that there was no problem with the other techniques people were using at the time. The Blendiful, at the end of the day, is a makeup puff. I can go down to Target and get myself a pack of 3 for $10. Why should I buy a Blendiful over a Target powder puff, over a beauty blender, over like a foundation brush? Why should I buy the Blendiful over like a foundation brush or a beauty blender or a Target powder puff? Like, what exactly would it be changing for me? Like, I just don't really understand that. If I were to make a comparison, I would compare this to the beauty blender. The beauty blender had such success because it offered something up when it came out on the market. You buy a dry sponge, you wet the sponge, and you use it for foundation, and it makes it look less cakey and more blended in. The beauty blender was a completely unique idea, and people swear by that sponge. They love it. But the beauty blender brought something new to the table, whereas a powder puff has been around forever. Why should I buy Tati's over one that I can get at the drugstore? It was just a really weird, random release, especially from her for makeup. I get that she was trying to put something cool out there, but at the same time, I don't know anything about owning makeup companies, but what I personally, as a consumer of Tati's videos, what I personally would have wanted to see from her was more like color products, more eyeshadow palettes, blushes, highlighters. Overall, this product is a no thank you from me. If I'm not gonna spend $20 on the beauty blender, then I'm definitely not going to be spending it on the Blendiful. So now I'm gonna move on to another worst release of 2020. I'm gonna go with the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Volume 2 eyeshadow palette that came out in February. The first thing I remember thinking when I saw that Jaclyn was doing this collab with Morphe was, really, Jaclyn, really? I'm at a loss for words here. You knew there were gonna be problems if you worked with Morphe. You knew why. Anyway, yeah, as anyone could have predicted, there were problems with the palette. This one I feel like is pretty bad. I will say it was really sneaky and disrespectful to customers. So Jaclyn announced her second collab with Morphe. She said it would be the same loved formula as the first Jaclyn Hill palette, which was wildly successful and a really good quality palette, but things don't always work out like that. Especially if you're working with Morphe. This wasn't like a scandal or a failure of a release. We've all seen Jaclyn Hill's failure of a release. That was a little mean, but I'm gonna keep it in the video anyway, because it's true. The Morphe Volume 2 is truly not Jaclyn Hill's worst release to date. When this came out, I feel like the general response was something along the lines of, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Okay, so what happened was Jaclyn Hill said, oh, this is gonna be the same loved formula, right? Well, it was decidedly not the same loved formula. Morphe went ahead and reformulated their eyeshadows, which normally would be fine. Companies make different formulations all the time. They change things around to make the eyeshadows better. But not only in this case did it make the eyeshadow qualities worse, but the addition of certain ingredients made the formula non-vegan, when originally it was vegan. And Morphe just didn't think to tell anyone that it wasn't vegan. So the ingredient they added that made the formula non-vegan is carmine. Carmine is used in red eyeshadows, and it's essentially a crushed up beetle part. But you see, by adding crushed up beetle into the eyeshadow, it made it non-vegan. This stresses me out because sometimes people buy vegan for a specific reason. For example, you might buy a vegan eyeshadow palette because you're allergic to carmine, which people are. But if nobody told you that the formula changed and the new formula contained an allergen, that's pretty bad. Also, people might just be vegan and want to buy vegan makeup, and that's fine too. You just have to let people know. That's why I feel like this is so sneaky. They could have just told people, and they didn't. Even Jaclyn says that she didn't know about the formula change at all. But I mean, to be fair, it is Jaclyn saying this. This just overall was a very shady release, a very shady collab. It's just shady in general. I was not a fan. That's how I feel. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's talk about the Cremated Palette that was released in May. What were they thinking? This May, this year in 2020, with a literal global pandemic occurring, you're putting out a death-themed makeup release? Seriously? I cannot fathom why this would have been. I get being edgy. I understand that maybe Jeffree Star Cosmetics was trying to rile people up, get people's attention, but sis, 2020, I don't want to make light of this. Side note, please wear a mask in public and stay home if and when you can. This release was not funny, especially in May. The thought of anyone saying yes to this is funny to me. We were at the peak of the first wave in May, and I think it was just so insensitive to release a palette like that, especially when so many people can't even go to say goodbye to their loved ones or go to funerals or any family gatherings or whatnot. And it's just extra ridiculous that they put out a black and white smoky eye themed palette in May. Couldn't this have waited until October? So yeah, I think the Cremated Collection was one of the worst releases of this year. And you also literally couldn't pay me to wear those gray lip glosses. They're gross. Who bought those? Next, we are moving on to July to talk about the Becca Zero Pigment line. The Becca Zero collection, it could have been so good if only it was skincare. The Becca Zero collection, the announcement, the release, the reviews, this was an emotional roller coaster. From the start, I knew this was just a gimmick. I knew this was ridiculous. Are you kidding me? My skin is gonna look like that model's in that photo after using the Becca Zero Pigment foundation. Are you kidding me? To me, this release was just such a blatant cash grab. You're paying upwards of $40 for a clear foundation. I am appalled. I am aghast. You are paying $36 for a clear foundation. You should not spend that money on the Becca Zero line if you're looking for clear products. You can get a pore filler from the drugstore. You can get a clear mascara. You can get a clear lip gloss, all probably for under $15. It pains me that people might have spent their money on this. It pains me to my core. Essentially, what bothers me about this release is that they marketed it as a foundation when it's really like a primer or a moisturizer. The Becca Zero line is a complete and total scam. That's where I'll leave it. I changed my mind. I'm gonna say one more thing. I feel really bad for Becca because I feel like they were staking their company on this, more or less. Like, they clearly thought that this was going to be their new thing. This would be the new trend. This would be their new direction. And it just, you know, they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. But Becca, don't try this again. This is ridiculous. Okay, so now we're moving from July into August. And I'm not trying to be mean with this one. I'm really not like trying to shade Patrick Starr. I really don't want to. But I do have to say that I think one of the worst releases of the year was 1/Size's initial skincare releases. In August, Patrick Starr's brand 1/Size came out with 2 products. The first product was an extra small pack of extra large makeup wipes that were extra expensive, and the second product was a makeup melting spray. The makeup melting spray I don't have as much of an issue with. It's more of just the release itself from this brand and the fact that makeup wipes are super wasteful. Let me look up some statistics for you. Hold on. Google says that as of March 11th, 2019, there are 7.6 billion pounds of makeup wipes thrown into the landfill each year, which adds up to 1.3 billion wipes tossed each day. This makes wipes the third most wasteful product in the world. In the world! So why, in God's name, would you come out with more makeup wipes? So the actual statistic worries me even further because I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize it was this bad. The worst part is that I'm definitely guilty of having used makeup wipes like the first few years I was getting into makeup. At the time, I didn't really think about how wasteful it was, but now that it's more of a widespread message that makeup wipes are wasteful, I'm wondering why companies are still coming out with them. Not only are they bad for the environment, but they're bad for your skin. Makeup wipes are so tough on the skin. I remember when I was in high school, I'd like scrub off all my eyeliner at the end of the day, and I'd wash my face and put on my moisturizer, and my eyes, like the area around my eyes would burn. That's not good. That shouldn't be happening. Don't do that. That's bad for you. So they're environmentally wasteful, they're bad for your skin, and these wipes are so expensive. It's $15 for 22 wipes. I definitely talked about this in a buy or bust video, so I won't go over the math, but that's really expensive. Listen, we keep this channel math free when we can. This is a safe space. If you use 1 makeup wipe per day, you only have 21 days worth of makeup wipes. If you use 1.5 makeup wipes a day, 2 makeup wipes a day, that's different, that's less. I don't see the point of buying makeup wipes at all, but if you're gonna buy them, why are you spending $15? I understand if it's to support Patrick Starr, but other than that, I don't get the appeal. That's how I feel about those. I don't think it would be worth it. And I also think that this as a first release from 1/Size is really strange because it's a makeup company. I guess it's kind of cool, you know, kind of quirky that their first release was a makeup remover. I don't know. I'll give them that one, actually. I rescind my criticism. So now we're moving on to another worst release of 2020. We're gonna jump all the way to November to talk about the Louise Canceled Collection. This release is the result of a special kind of willful ignorance. So while she was at the concert, she posted a video of her singing along with the song. Louise recorded herself singing the N-word at the concert. After she was called out for just singing the N-word at a concert, she responded really, really badly to the backlash. She tweeted the following: just because her boyfriend, who is Black, says it's okay, and her friends who are Black say that it's okay for her, a non-Black person, to say the N-word, that doesn't mean that other Black individuals won't be offended by this. That is in no way an acceptable excuse. It's not the rest of the world's fault that Louise has not chosen to educate herself about that word. So this happened in March, and in November, she released the Canceled Collection. What is the Canceled Collection all about? Designed and created as not only a revolutionary collection in the makeup industry, but as a message to people of all ages regarding the toxicity and devastation social media can cause. I'm sorry. Are you mad that people are mad that you said the N-word? Is that what this is? Because if so, this is tacky. I'm not trying to be like terribly rude or shady. This is my genuine opinion. I get secondhand embarrassment looking at this collection because personally, if I hurt people like that online, if I said a racial slur, I would apologize right away. The first thing out of my mouth, the first thing I would put on Twitter in response is, I am sorry. I would be embarrassed at myself if I were to say I have a Black friend, so it's okay that I said this. It might be okay with some individuals in the Black community, but it's not okay with many, many other individuals. Oh my God, this palette just like, it screams like desperation to me because, like I said, this incident at the concert occurred in March of 2019. It happened so long ago, and you're still complaining about it. You're still complaining about the heat you got for saying a racial slur. That confuses me and is also tacky. And at this point, it's just kind of irrelevant. It happened so long ago. All people wanted was for you to take accountability. You couldn't even do that, so people moved their attention away from you. I think this canceled collection is a bit of a woe is me attention grab. That's not to say that toxicity doesn't exist on social media, because it certainly does. Social media can be toxic. It is toxic. And to have a collection themed around something like that could be really interesting, but that's not what the P. Louise collection was. I know that this is a UK beauty brand, but with the political climate going on in the US right now, I couldn't. Why would you sell this in America? Like right now? Really? Oh, and she has a shade name in here called Fake News. If I ever have to hear fake news come out of someone's mouth unironically again, I will throw a tantrum. Oh my God, there's another shade that's called Hoax and Fake News in the canceled collection. This is literally twice as embarrassing as I initially thought it was. The only reason she is denouncing social media toxicity is because she got caught saying a racial slur. And then there's the shade names and the timing of the release that make it just so like, ugh. And also like, the collection itself. It's a huge palette. It's super bulky, has a ton of shade repeats. The packaging isn't even like that cute in my personal opinion. In my humble opinion, all this collection is a brush set and a neutral eyeshadow palette with bulky packaging coming from a whiny influencer. I thought overall that the canceled collection was one of the worst releases in 2020. It was tacky and embarrassing. Hi guys, we interrupt this programming to bring you a special message. So I quickly just wanted to clarify something because I'm worried that it might sound like I'm trying to downplay P. Louise's actions in this video. I do not want to downplay the severity of what she did and the pain she caused the Black community. Her saying a racial slur is not what I'm calling embarrassing. Her actions and response to the people calling her out were worse than embarrassing. They were incredibly bigoted and ignorant and racist, and I wanted to emphasize that. Her refusal to take accountability for recording herself saying the N-word and posting it online when the people she hurt asked her to is very telling of who she is as a person, and it's deeply disappointing that people who behave like this continue to have a platform on social media. I just wanted to jump in as editing Sonya to clarify that I'm calling the collection embarrassing, because it is embarrassing. She shouldn't be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed that she came out with this whole bogus collection about the toxicity of social media instead of apologizing to the people she hurt and trying to educate herself for the future. That's what I think is embarrassing about this situation. I just wanted to make that very clear that this is just not acceptable behavior. Okay, lastly, but not leastly, the last but not least worst product of 2020. Okay, we stumbled through that, it's fine. We got through it, it's fine. This product is a collaboration product. Specifically, it's a Disney collaboration product. It is this House of Sillage. Can I just watch the video? I just need to know how to pronounce this. So this product is a collaboration between House of Sillage and Mickey Mouse. This is it. Right here. this cupcake looking perfume. I want you, don't look it up. I want you to guess how much this perfume is. I asked my sibling that question last night and they looked at me real smug and they said $275. And I looked back even smugger and I said wrong. This is $395. Oh my God. I could buy so much stuff with $395. I could buy one organic chemistry textbook with the solutions manual. I could buy like a lawnmower or something. How much does a lawnmower cost? Guess what? I looked it up. I could buy a lawnmower with $395. I guess it has crystal polka dots on it. It incorporates, in their own words, sparkling notes of refreshing coconut, cocoa, bergamot, and sweet vanilla. I mean, it sounds like it smells good. I don't know what it smells like. Please don't buy this. Please. But I mean, if you do want to buy this, rest assured, this is certainly a very unique waste of money. And you'll never waste your money like this again. I'm just kidding, that was a complete joke. If you enjoy the notes in the perfume, you love how beautifully the bottle is crafted, and you love Mickey Mouse, you love Disney, and you want to buy this, go ahead. I still wear Bath & Body Works body sprays. I am nowhere near qualified enough to talk to you about which perfume you should buy. This is just my opinion. I cannot think of a single reason why anyone would want to spend $395 of their hard-earned dollars on this perfume. If I could, I would pay you $395 not to buy this perfume. Then you'd have $395 to buy the perfume with. But the point is, I'm paying you not to buy it. The Mickey perfume is just so ridiculous and extravagant that I had to put it on the list of worst makeup releases of 2020. It's not technically a makeup item, I guess, but it is a beauty item. And I wanted to throw it in there because it just astounds me. Yes, that's the correct word. I'm astounded that this costs so much money. To sum up my thoughts on the perfume, on one hand, it's handcrafted, it's jewel encrusted. I'm sure it's made with good ingredients, it's gonna smell great. On the other hand, it's $400 and it looks like a cupcake. All right, you guys, that's all I had to say. That concludes this video. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And also let me know what your least favorite releases of 2020 were. I'm dying to know. I love hearing about other people's least favorite releases, least favorite products. Let me know what your thoughts are on the releases I talked about in this video, and also about any releases I didn't mention in this video. Good, okay. Also, please feel free to subscribe should you feel so inclined. If you like hanging out with me, I like hanging out with you. Hi. Happy holidays. I hope you're all having a great day because you all deserve it, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye.